Um, so in this session, I'm going to talk about something that will help HTML JavaScript developers to understand what Oracle is building in terms of ease of development for creating hybrid applications, HTML JavaScript based application. How many of you are developers, HTML JavaScript developers? Okay, more than 60%. Okay, so what is the main problem that you face when you build a HTML or JavaScript based application for web or mobile? Debugging is one thing, and how much time does it take to code, JavaScript and HTML, make things similar to what you want exactly as per your UX designs? It takes time, right? And the code is, very unstructured. You cannot, really understand. It comes in one single line, the JavaScript and all, right? So what Oracle had started a couple of years back was something called Oracle Jet, which is nothing but JavaScript extension toolkit, which is a set of components that Oracle has built. It is open source initiative, and it is actually self-sustained components which you can just plug and play, configure few things here and there, and you can actually build some beautiful applications. So I'll just run through. I don't have too many slides. I would actually like to talk about it more. So I'll just run you through these few slides that I have. So what's the value proposition? How many of you heard of Oracle Jet? Oh, I thought it was already too famous, but it is not. So actually it's beautiful looking, UI JavaScript based components, which you can plug and play very easily into your code. And it actually has become, a global strategical technology that Oracle is using to build all their products now. Oracle Fusion applications you're aware of, right? So Oracle Fusion applications also are getting redeveloped using this technology. Going forward, all products from Oracle are going to be using the same technology of Oracle Jet, right? And there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes in terms of using HTML and JavaScript for building our applications. And not only that, since everything is on cloud these days, the time to market is a very, very important factor, right? And that was something that Oracle had considered in building their new age products that run on cloud directly, right? So in terms of Oracle Jet, what's the value proposition? The quality in terms of features, the components that Oracle Jet provides, there are lots of inbuilt functionalities which you will definitely require in your application, right? Something like, the accessibility, the security, internationalization, very rich components, the basic text fields and stuff. Along with that, there's something called DVT components, which is data visualization toolkit, with which you can actually visualize the data in multiple forms, like a pie chart or a bar chart. Just by configuring the data into it, you can actually create those components very quickly, right? And there are a lot of other things like responsive UI. When you want to build your web application, you want to make sure that your application looks good in any form factor of the device, whether it is a a desktop browser or a mobile browser. So responsive UI comes inbuilt with the Oracle Jet components. On top of it, I feel the biggest advantage of Oracle Jet is that it is open source, and if you plug and play your components into your application, you are actually free to get into the code and do whatever you want. Most of the times what happens is when you're using some external libraries or something or a framework, you're actually, there's always a trade-off between flexibility of controlling things and the amount of time that you take to build the app, right? How many of you are aware of ADF, Oracle ADF? Not many, okay. So low-code platform is what the technology is moving into, where since everything is on cloud, we want to build the applications faster, right? And the biggest challenge that comes is, in cloud world, most of the times the releases happen in every 2 to 3 months. and then you build your application so fast that in 2-3 months you have to, deliver a set of features, which is not easy to, code in HTML and JavaScript so fast. So the advantage of Oracle Jet is that those components look exactly the same in any application that you plug them into, right? And the ease of plugging them into your code is actually tremendous, and which I'm going to show a little bit about it, right? Fully open source, modular architecture, optimized for Oracle customers. Now this is related to if you have, let's say, other Oracle products like SaaS products and stuff like Fusion applications. The Oracle Jet components come with inbuilt feature of direct, integration with those SaaS services, so that you don't have to break your head and spend a lot of time in integrating those services into your app. So some of those features actually come inbuilt in Oracle Jet. This is a typical architecture of Oracle Jet components. On top you see the the UI components, and which are backed by the model layer, and view model, typical model view architecture, right? So these are the kind of components that you get with Oracle Jet. You see for collections there are a few things like data grid, tables, and list view kind of things. Forms, there are inbuilt forms, layout and navigation, how you can lay the components out in your page. There are some layout components. You can make the UI similar to what you want. These are the DVT components that I was talking about. Some very nice looking, and the whole philosophy of building these kind of UI components, which has been there with Oracle from ADF time, is that image can speak 1,000 words. So the whole idea here is, in one image you can just feed in the data into it, and you can visualize it in different ways. Just by changing one parameter in it, you can actually change the whole look and feel of the data. So that is the whole concept in DVT components. So these are the the customers and partners who are already using Oracle Jet. Of course, as I said, all Oracle products, the strategical decision that Oracle has taken is all the products that we are going to develop from now on, has been going on for a long time, are going to be built using Oracle Jet. So all the apps that you're going to see in Oracle Cloud is completely built on Jet. A little bit about the timelines. So this is the next major release that is happening, possibly this month. So there are already lots of releases have gone in. It has evolved pretty well. When people have used it, there are lots of enhancement requests that we have received. There are lots of issue fixing that we have done. So it is coming to a very matured state now. Now this is as far as Oracle Jet is concerned, which is open source, the UI components, there are a lot of things inbuilt into it. But what Oracle thought was that they are still JavaScript based components, right? So we need a platform which gives us a declarative way of building these UI pages, right? Quickly and rapidly. Again, with the philosophy of that, on cloud the release cycles are very, very small. So the whole idea of something called Oracle Visual Builder Cloud Service, which basically is a visual declarative development environment on the cloud, on the browser, which makes use of Oracle Jet components, and you can build your applications, the web applications, the mobile applications, by dragging and dropping. The final artifacts that get created in your application are actually Oracle Jet based artifacts, right? So the whole idea of Visual Builder is, again, this is one global composing platform that Oracle is using within the company to build their applications. So it gives, I feel the best thing in this Visual Builder is you can drag and drop. Obviously declarative, it is much faster. I'll try to give you a demo also if time permits. A lot of things are taken care automatically within VBCS environment, so you don't have to break your head in terms of writing the plumbing code that you require to create a HTML JavaScript app, right? The biggest advantage that I feel is all the final artifacts that get generated, right, they are all plain HTML JavaScript artifacts. But in between, when you're developing your application in VBCS, you can actually get into the HTML and JavaScript code if you want to implement any of your business logic, which is not generally the case with lots of visual environments that you get to develop your applications. Because again, as I said, flexibility, there's a inverse proportion of flexibility with time to market. If your visual platform is great enough that you develop everything by drag and drop, it will not provide you flexibility to add your custom business logic into it. It will not provide you hooks to put your own business logic easily. Here, it is all open to you. You drag and drop, some component gets created, you can get into the HTML and JavaScript code and implement whatever you want. So that way it is very, very flexible. So again, now this is actually one of the biggest composing app that Oracle is focusing on. And all our applications are actually built using this with one-touch deployment. You can create your web applications, you can create mobile applications, native applications. One application you build for mobile in VBCS using Oracle Jet, that can be deployed as a native app on iOS and Android both. Right? Again, the same things, cloud-based, you don't have anything to install on your system. Easy to use. What you see in the development environment is what you get as a final artifact. Then it is SaaS integrated. If you have other applications, for example, SaaS, the Fusion applications, all those things come for you to make use of and integrate with in your application out of the box. You'll see the SaaS objects directly as a drag and drop object, right? So this is what we had thought initially, that it will be good if you can provide some features for the business user to directly create the applications without having any knowledge. And then over a period of time, the requirements evolved, and now we are also targeting the developer, right? The people who build the applications. The only advantage that they get, it is open source, and the time that it requires for you to build the application is considerably less. So web applications, mobile applications, chatbots are the top level applications that you build, and then you have the UI component, the Jet components, lots of processes in place, lots of controllers in place, navigation and all, third-party REST service integration, Oracle data services integration, Oracle SaaS integration. All those things come to you in one single integrated environment where you can just drag and drop and build your basic application. I mean, there will be cases where you have something specific to be implemented. For that, you can get into the code and modify it the way you want. So this is a declarative REST consumption where there are 3 ways. How many of you are aware of REST services? That is very famous now. So there are 3 ways of integrating REST services in VBCS. There's one that comes out of the box if you have, let's say you have Fusion apps, so that, can't see it, service catalog, wherein you will see all those integrated apps, objects, so that you can drag and drop them. That is called service catalog based REST consumption. Then you have the specification based. So if you have an external service which exposes its resources information using some metadata like Swagger or something, you can just make use of the Swagger and detect the resources that are there in the external service. Or if you don't have any of these, one single endpoint that you have from a REST service, you can integrate with that directly. Right, again, the flexible, advanced UI capabilities, Jet-based UI, visual development, direct access to manipulate code. I feel this is very, very important, because I've seen in a lot of products, people get stuck with this, plugging into your business logic, which is not very easy in some of the visual environments. And then very, very simple concepts in terms of architecture. I would actually share some things with you. So two-way editing, you edit something in the property inspector or in the code, it takes effect everywhere. You have the whole code insight feature, all driven by what is delivered by Oracle Jet. Key building blocks of a VBCS application, REST services, of course, where your data is going to reside, variables, listeners, actions, component pages. This is a typical, there's nothing special in this actually. This is a typical HTML JavaScript based app where you have a UI component, there is a data variable that is backing up the data that you're seeing, and then you have some navigational controls, actions, and then the UI components, the pages. So there's nothing special in this actually, but in VBCS these are the standard things. Other than this you will not see anything else. Typical flow of the pages that you build with VBCS and Oracle Jet. The building blocks, again the same thing, REST service, variables, UI components, actions, business object. So business object is one thing that, let's say if you don't have REST service, you want to store the data within VBCS scope, you can create your business objects. Business objects are nothing but a table in a database kind of things, right? Data access, all those security configurations come inbuilt. You can just select which security, client security, the service that you're connecting to requires. You can just select and provide some, values to it. So all those things come inbuilt. You don't have to worry about how to enable OAuth, how to enable basic authentication. You don't have to write the code. It all comes inbuilt. Variables, I guess these are some details of that VBCS building blocks. So how to make use of Oracle Jet? So there are two ways of using Oracle Jet. One is you go into the documentation, read through the stuff, and there is something called Oracle Jet Cookbook, where all these components that are provided by Oracle Jet, they are actually implemented in a demo application kind of thing, where you see the HTML code for it, you see the JavaScript code of it, and you see the UI component in action. So you can just simply copy and paste that piece of code into your app. The whole thing start working, right? For example, let's say data grid. See here, you have the data grid here, the HTML code is here, and the JavaScript code is here. So you know how to make use of these components in your app. There's a live demo of that, right? So this is one thing. This is called Oracle Jet Cookbook. And in terms of VBCS, I would actually want to show you this quick demo which I had created to create a mobile application. Right? So here what I've done is I've created an object called employees. Just entering some of the fields of it. I have created 3 fields: name, email, and salary. And from this UI, so this is the UI that you're seeing. It's the Visual Builder UI, right? Which makes use of Jet in the backend and a lot of other things. And you can build your application faster, right? So let me ask you a question. If you have to build an application, let's say a mobile application, which shows me a contacts list, and when I click on the list, it takes me to the edit page, save it, come back to the list. If you have to build it using HTML, JavaScript for a mobile application for iOS and Android, how much time do you think it will take? How much time it will take to build that application? The developers, any guesses? No idea. 2-3 days, you will build the 2 pages which will have the get menu operation showing the list view. Then click on it and then go to the edit page, save it, save to the server, come back and see the list view. 2-3 days it will be done. Okay. So here what I am going to show you how to do that in 5 minutes. Alright. So here you can add some field validation, business object level validation. I'm just entering one validation here which says the new value for salary. If it is less than 0, it is an invalid value. I'm just adding that validation into the business object. So now I have come to the building the application, the mobile application, for which I just said in VBCS, create me a mobile application, and it is giving me some options. How would you like to view, your application to look like? So it has created some default application containing some CSS, some HTML, some JavaScript, and the layout that I had selected, it has created those 3 parts in the mobile app. I just want two sections of it, so I have just deleted one of them. So the first thing that I'll do is create a list view which shows me all the context that I have in the data in my business object. So I dragged and dropped the list view, which is nothing but the Oracle Jet, and then I am connecting the data, binding the data of that employee object that I had created to this list view. Just drag and drop. And I hit finish. So I see the list of contacts there in the first page. And along with that, I'm just dragging and dropping a bar chart which shows me possibly the salaries of all these employees. Again, for binding the data, I'm just selecting the same object. Y-axis, I'm showing the salary. X-axis is the name. And I just hit finish. Right? And I see that there's a bar chart getting displayed with, I just enabled the legends on it. But the bar graph is not showing something correctly. So this is the older version actually. So there was a change that I had to do. So for the y-axis, to show the correct values of all those employees that are there from the business object. So you see this, the HTML code got generated on its own, which makes use of the Oracle Jet components, and there is some metadata associated with these files, with these pages. I'm just updating the series of it so that it shows me the salaries of all the employees. So this is the first page, right? So the thing that you're seeing here is eventually the application that is getting created, it is a Jet based application. It is just that the development of it is getting done through the VBCS platform. The end product contains Oracle Jet components only. And then for taking that selection of the list, you have to add a selection listener, which again is a visual thing. And then I add a navigate action to it. And I select something, navigate me to the edit page. The edit page takes a employee ID as input, which is going to be used to fetch the form information from the backend, and then you can edit it. And then on the save click, so you see here the three properties are getting displayed. I just update the salary and it is saved. If I set a value less than 1, the business object throws me error. Please enter a value more than 0. And then with one single click, you can just configure the deployment profiles, the build profiles. You can build iOS application and Android application from the same code base, and then you can test it. Once this is enabled, the build my app, there will be a barcode that comes in. You just scan the barcode on your mobile device. It gets downloaded to your mobile device for testing. So this is what I think I could cover in half an hour. Any questions? Does it make sense to you, the Oracle Jet things? Yes.
So pretty much what we can do in Android Studio. I mean, I understand Android is like highly customizable. You can do because it takes its own time and it has own pros and cons.
Yeah.
But here, pretty much whatever we can do in HTML and JavaScript and REST backend, we can do. All the controls are there. I mean, basic controls, customized controls are there.
What controls?
Like if I want a timer-based scheduler to be created or some dashboard to be created.
So lots of those components are there. You cannot expect everything that everybody wants is available, right? But the basic components like the scheduler, the timeline, the what do you call that, burst graph, pie chart, all those things, the basic things that are used in any reports, they are there.
So even any JavaScript external
you can import
we
that.
can import.
You can import any JavaScript library just like any other HTML JavaScript based app.
And the output will be APK or the
output will be APK, native app.
For Android.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you build the UI components and you want to interact with the backend, so you typically end up calling a REST API or some such thing.
Okay.
But here what you showed was something like binding it to an employee object. So how does that work?
Yeah. So what I showed you in the demo is I created that object within VBCS, business object that I mentioned about, right? Instead of the business object, you can actually connect to a REST service and that becomes your business object.
Okay.
And then it makes calls to the REST service directly. So the three options that I showed for connecting to REST service, either service metadata or the service specifications or a single endpoint. So those are the three ways you can connect to a REST service.
Yeah. So what I seen that the HTML which got created out of your Jet, that has some attributes or the parameters which is kind of a Jet framework parameters, means we have to dependent on the Jet libraries.
Which parameters?
So for example, the HTML tag, and it has some attributes also
Huh.
which got created.
Okay. Yeah.
So it means that we will have the dependency over the Jet framework, you can say.
Yes, because you're using Jet components there. So those attributes and the tags are basically Jet tags.
Okay.
But you can use any HTML tag there.
Okay.
Even if you don't want to use Oracle Jet for something, you can use anything. The regular HTML stuff also works there.
So if we want to import some other libraries and combine with the other attributes in the same tag, so will it allow to import the other libraries and like we do in let's say the NPM, we are actually integrating the other libraries which is available in their repository, and then simply we are just making a reference to it and then we are using it.
Yeah, so when you're importing libraries for some tags to be imported, then obviously the attributes for that tag defined in that library are applicable. When it comes to Oracle Jet, the Oracle Jet specific attributes are there, plus let's say it's an input text. So the input text, the attributes that are defined by Oracle Jet will be applicable, plus the regular input tag that you have in HTML, the attributes of that also will be applicable. It's an extension.
Okay.
Right, so the default things will also work.
And you have that provision to add those libraries, visual.
Yes,
provision.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is this subscription, does it cost to build the application using the platform, or how
Yes,
is it?
so VBCS actually comes free with some other Oracle products. It's a subscription based model. So that is, yeah, it is a paid service. But Oracle Jet is open source. So what it produces, it's open source Oracle Jet based application. What?
The application developed using Visual Builder has to be deployed there only, or it can be deployed anywhere else.
So if it is a mobile app, you have to deploy it on your mobile device. If it is a web app, it runs on the VBCS server on Oracle Cloud. No, because there are lots of additional things that work in that framework on top of Oracle Jet based application. Like for example, if you're connecting to a REST service, the security things come into picture. So all those things are actually taken care at the backend level, in the framework level. So you need that.